All right, hello everybody. This is the first day of our reading groups. Today is Monday, March 30th, and we are going to start our reading groups today. I'm excited to be reading with you again, and I hope you guys are excited to be reading with me. We're going to be doing some word work, and we'll have videos for 4 days this week, so very exciting. First thing I want you to do is everybody got a packet like this in the mail, in the newest packet that we sent out. This says Mr. Erickson, small groups beginning 3:30 of 20, and this will have your name on it. And today we're going to work on one book, and it should be the very first one in your packet, and it is called The Leaning Tower. So I printed these out for everybody, and inside of the book is a worksheet that we will be working on probably tomorrow. So we're not going to get to that today, but tomorrow you'll want to have your book, the worksheet, and a pencil. For today, we just are going to focus on our book, okay? So what we're going to do, I want you guys to remember when we are reading, there are a couple things that we do. We follow along with our fingers. So you're going to follow along. The Leaning Tower is the title of this book. And you can either read in your level 1 voice, or if you want, you can read in your whisper voice. The Leaning Tower. Any one you want. But you are going to read along with me, and I'm excited to be reading with you. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to shrink myself a little bit, and I'm going to move myself over to the side of the screen, because on my screen, which I'm sharing with you, we actually have our book. So if you want, you can follow along. You'll be following along in your book. And I'm going to point. You can see my little mouse or my cursor is circling the word the on the book. And you're going to follow along with me. And that's going to be like my finger pointing. So the title of this book is The Leaning Tower. All right. One thing we're wondering is who the author is. And we all know that the author is the person that writes the books. And this is written by Elizabeth Jane Pustelnik. The illustrator, who can tell me, what does the illustrator do? Do you remember? That's right. The illustrator draws the pictures. In this case, they didn't draw the pictures. It's a photograph. So this is a real life picture of a leaning tower. This book was illustrated by Loic Darien. And I'm wondering, two things we've been focusing on are fiction and nonfiction. Is this book a fiction book, or is this book a nonfiction book? Think about that for a second. Remember, fiction means that it is not real. Nonfiction means that it is based in reality. So what do you think by looking at the title of the cover of this book? Is it fiction or nonfiction? I agree. It's nonfiction. This is a real building. All right. Go ahead and turn the page. So the next page says The Leaning Tower, and this will just be the next page in your book. Again, it talks about the author, the illustrator, and it has our focus question. Why does the Tower of Pisa lean? This book hopefully will tell us why. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, I will let you know, is in Italy. So it's in Italy, in one of our European countries. All right, go ahead and turn the page. The words to know: bell tower, safe, lean, weights, Pisa, and workers. These are our focus words in this text. Okay, and we are now on, everybody should be on page 3. So we're all on page 3. Let's go ahead and do our finger pointing, and you're going to read along with me. Long ago, workers built a bell tower. It was called the Tower of Pisa. All right. Turning our page, we're on page 4. It took many years for workers to build it. Right away, the tower started to lean. The tower started to lean. I wonder why the tower started to lean. I think if we read on, it's probably going to let us know. On page 5, it says, workers built it on soft ground. The tower leaned. Do you know what that means? They built it on soft ground? Thinking that you can see that there's kind of, it looks a little muddy. There's some water here. So I think that the ground they built it on maybe wasn't solid and the tower started to sink in. So probably not the best place to build a building or a tower like this. Workers built it too tall. The tower leaned. Leaned is that word. So they built it so tall, so now we know that it was on soft ground and they're building it tall. That sounds like it might fall over, I don't know. Right, we are on page 7 now. Workers built it too skinny. The tower leaned. So it looks like this building also was not a big, like full block building like we might see in downtown Bellevue or downtown Seattle. So it says they built it too skinny. So instead of being like a normal sized building that would cover a city block, I think this building was like really skinny, and in that soft ground, it just started leaning. All right, all together we are on page 8 now. I'll turn the page. Workers stopped it from leaning more. They dug under it. I'm wondering, if they dug under it, how do you think that stopped it from leaning more? I see some machines back here. Trucks, these, I'm not sure what these are, but maybe those helped them stop the leaning of the tower. On page 9, workers stopped it from leaning more. They put ropes around it. Oh, so they're putting some ropes around it. It looks like they've built some kind of a maybe protective wall here too. I wonder how those ropes are going to help the tower from leaning. All right, we are on page 10. Workers stopped it from leaning more. They put weights on the ropes. Oh, they put weights on the ropes. Okay. So it looks like there's these ropes going this way. I see ropes going this way. And maybe there's some heavy weights here that pull the tower so that it doesn't lean anymore. The tower still leans, but it is safe for people. And I'm looking at this picture, and there are people at the top and around here. But that tower, it's leaning like this. I don't know if I would want to walk up in that tower. What do you think? Would you want to walk up in that tower? Looks a little scary to me. I'm not sure. And on page 12, people call it the Leaning Tower of Pisa. This person is pushing their hands up. It makes it look like he's holding up the tower with his hands. Nice. So remember, the Leaning Tower of Pisa is in Italy, and Italy is on the European continent. Okay? All right. We're going to read this book one more time, so I'm going to go back to the beginning. Okay? And I want everybody just to get their book again back to the beginning for me. We're going to read one more time. Remember, you are finger pointing along the Leaning Tower, and I'm going to be using my mouse, you can see it here, or my cursor, and I'm going to be reading the words that way on the screen for you. We'll go a little bit faster this time since we've read it once. And remember, we're trying to remember information. I'm going to ask you some questions about this at the end. All right. The Leaning Tower, written by Elizabeth Jane Pastelnik, illustrated by Loic Darien. The Leaning Tower. Why does the Tower of Pisa lean? So remember, that's our focus question. Page 3. Long ago, workers built a bell tower. It was called the Tower of Pisa. Great job reading along, and great job using your fingers to finger point on those words so that you know where you're at. Page 4. It took many years for workers to build it. Right away, the tower started to lean. So the tower wasn't even all the way built yet. It looks like there's only 1, 2, 3 stories built, and it already started to lean. Workers built it on soft ground. The tower leaned. Page 6. Workers built it too tall. The tower leaned. Workers built it too skinny. The tower leaned. Workers stopped it from leaning more. They dug under it. And remember, it looks like they used some trucks and a crane and these to help support underneath the building. Workers stopped it from leaning more. They put ropes around it. Do you remember what they attached to the ropes? It's going to tell us on the next page, but I'm wondering if you remember. That's right, they put weights on the end of the ropes. Workers stopped it from leaning more. They put weights on the ropes. Page 11. The tower still leans, but it is safe for people. Even they say it's safe, but I'm not sure I want to walk up there. People call it the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Great job, you guys. We did some awesome reading today. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about this. On the back page of your book, there's some connections to make. If you want, you could get out a piece of paper when we're done reading here, and you could draw a picture of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So that would be fun. Instead of a building straight up and down, you're going to have a leaning tower. You could write some things that describe the tower. So tall, skinny, leaning, stone. It looks like it's made of stone. And if you want, later on, you could try to build your own tower using materials of your choice. So remember, we've built things in class. We've built bridges. We used our spaghetti and marshmallows to build figures. We've also used cards to build things. So you could try to find some things at home, maybe even Legos or blocks, to build a tower of your own. Okay. All right, and now in everybody's packet, I'm going to move my screen a little so we can read. So there, like I said, there's a worksheet in your packet. Tomorrow, we're going to work on the puzzle side right here. But today, I want you to think about some of these questions. So, question number 1, we'll start right up here. Why did the workers put ropes with weights around the tower? So I want you to put on your thinking cap. Why did the workers put ropes with weights around the tower? What do you think? I agree. They put it around to help it stop leaning so that it wouldn't fall over. Okay. We're going to go to this question. What are some facts you learned about the Leaning Tower of Pisa? So remember, this is a non-fiction story, which means that it's real. So it's asking us some facts. So another word for fact is some truth. What are some truths or facts you learned about the Leaning Tower? Well, I'm going to pick up my book, which you have as well, and I'm going to go back through it. So, some facts that I learned. Okay, on page 4, it took many years for workers to build it. So that's a fact. It took many years. It didn't just get built in 1 week or 1 year. It took many years, which probably means 4, 5, maybe even 6. They also built it on soft ground. So that's a fact. They built it somewhere where the ground was soft and not hard, which caused it to lean. Oh, another fact. The workers built it too skinny. That's on page 7. So those are some facts. There's other facts in the book that you can find as well. All right. This question, what is another way workers could have kept the tower from leaning? Okay, we're not going to answer this today. We're going to answer this tomorrow after we read one more time in our lesson. But think about this question. I want you to be thinking about that. What is another way workers could have kept the tower from leaning? So I'm going to be asking that question again tomorrow, and you're going to think about some answers for that. All right, if you visited Pisa, would you climb the stairs to the top of the Leaning Tower? Why or why not? That question we're going to answer tomorrow as well, and we're going to do our worksheet puzzle. All right, that is our reading for today. Remember, you can read this again. Good readers always read at least twice, but sometimes we read 3 or 4 times to make sure that we know all the information. The other books in your packet, please do not read those yet. We're going to be reading these together over the next few weeks because we aren't going to have school for a while. So we're going to read those together. So today and tomorrow, we're focusing on the Leaning Tower. Go ahead and read that, and we will do the word work tomorrow. Okay? All right, have a good day. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.